Before his final breath, the legendary sword saint Miyamoto Musashi left 21 principles in the Dokkodo, a master blueprint for an unshakable and resilient soul. Imagine a misty morning in ancient Japan, where the deep silence of the mountains meets the internal struggle of a warrior seeking the ultimate truth. Now, contrast that peace with the frantic noise of our modern world, where we are constantly bombarded by distractions and the pressure to follow others. In a world with too much noise, do you have the courage to choose the path of the lone wanderer to find your true inner strength? In the depths of the Regando cave, Musashi distilled a lifetime of combat and wisdom into these final words of guidance for all future generations. This is not just about fighting with a sword. It is about the internal battle to remain firm when the world around you is falling apart. The Dokkodo is the path of self-reliance, a way to become your own master and build a foundation that no external force can ever destroy. Listen closely to the heartbeat of these principles, for they contain the power to transform your loneliness into a sanctuary of absolute and total power. Are you ready to walk away from the crowd and discover the invincible spirit that lies dormant within you? Let the journey of the lone wanderer begin. Principle 1. Accept everything just as it is. Musashi teaches us that all human suffering is born from the desperate desire for things to be different. Watch the water. Even when disturbed, it does not complain. It simply reacts and returns to its natural state of calm as quickly as possible. To accept is not to be passive. It is to see reality clearly, without the fog of emotion or the bias of our own personal expectations. When you stop resisting reality, you conserve the energy that most people waste on frustration. You become like the tree that survives the strongest storm. Neuroscience shows that when you accept adversity, your prefrontal cortex takes control of the amygdala, allowing you to make rational decisions under extreme pressure. By training your mind to acknowledge the present moment without judgment, you eliminate the panic that blinds most men when they face a sudden crisis. There is a profound power in simplicity. By accepting the world as it is, you remove the unnecessary layers of mental conflict that cloud your vision. Every moment is a teacher, whether it brings joy or pain. The lone wanderer receives it with the same equanimity and the same unbreakable spirit. This acceptance is your first shield. It protects you from the internal chaos that defeats a warrior long before the external battle has even begun. Principle 2. Do not seek pleasure for its own sake. Musashi viewed self-indulgence as the primary killer of a man's ambition and iron will. In modern times, we are addicted to instant gratification. We chase dopamine hits from screens and sugar, losing our ability to focus on greatness. When you free yourself from the need for constant comfort, you become dangerous. You are no longer a slave to your own base physical desires. The science of dopamine detox suggests that by removing temporary pleasures, you reset your brain's reward system, allowing you to find joy in hard work. True pleasure comes from the mastery of a skill, not from the consumption of a product. The lone wanderer finds satisfaction in his own growth. By choosing the difficult path over the easy one, you forge a character that is resistant to the temptations that ruin most ordinary men's lives. Discipline is the fuel of the spirit. Without the distraction of cheap pleasure, the fire of your purpose can burn brighter and last much longer. Look into the eyes of someone who has mastered themselves. You will see a clarity that cannot be bought and a strength that cannot be broken. Be that steady flame. Do not let the winds of desire flick you back and forth. Remain centered in your quest for ultimate self-mastery. The beat of discipline is constant and loud. It drowns out the whispers of weakness and leads the lone wanderer toward his highest possible destiny. Principles 3 and 4. Do not regret what you have done, and never be jealous of others. These are the chains of the past. Regret is a poison that kills your future. You cannot change what has happened, so why carry the weight of a ghost on your back? Learn the lesson, then burn the memory. The lone wanderer knows that every mistake was a necessary step on the ladder toward his current wisdom. Envy is the prison of the soul. When you look at what others have, you lose sight of the tools you hold in your own hands. Behavioral psychology tells us that comparing yourself to others only breeds insecurity. The only valid comparison is who you were only yesterday. Focus on your own stride. The path of the lone wanderer is unique to him. It does not intersect with the journeys of the common crowd. Let the sound of your own progress be the only bell you listen to. Release the bitterness of what could have been and embrace what is. Inner peace is found when you stop fighting your past. The lone wanderer is a master of the present, for that is where all power resides. Freedom is the absence of regret and envy. Once you let go of these burdens, your spirit becomes light enough to soar above any earthly obstacle. Principle 5. Do not be attached to material possessions. Musashi believed that the things you own will eventually end up owning you instead. We spend our lives gathering objects, but a warrior knows that in the heat of battle, only his skill and his spirit truly matter. The more you carry, the slower you move. True self-reliance is the knowledge that you can survive and thrive even with nothing in your hands. Minimalism is not about lack. It is about the abundance of focus. By removing the clutter, you reveal the sharp edge of your true purpose. In a consumerist world, choosing to have less is a revolutionary act. It is a declaration that your value comes from within, not from labels. Be like the wind, which possesses nothing but moves with incredible force across the earth. It is free because it has no anchors to hold it. Your internal world is your only true kingdom. Do not let external objects become the kings of your mind or the masters of your happiness. There is a quiet dignity in the simple life. It allows you to hear your own thoughts and listen to the subtle movements of the universe. The lone wanderer finds his freedom in the absence of weight. He travels light, thinks clearly, and acts with a speed that the burdened cannot imagine. Everything you need is already inside you. Once you realize this, the hunger for more things disappears, leaving only the power of being enough. Principle 6. Never stray from the way. This is the principle of absolute consistency and the refusal to compromise your core values for anything. Your way is your personal mission. It is the path you have chosen for yourself, regardless of whether the world understands or supports you. The road will be lonely, and many will doubt your choices. But for the lone wanderer, the disapproval of others is merely a sign of being right. Consistency is the ultimate filter. It separates those who merely talk from those who actually do. It keeps the masters and removes the weak. True mastery is found in the repetitive work that others find boring. The lone wanderer embraces the grind as the only way to reach perfection. Find your internal compass. Once you know your direction, do not let the opinions of the crowd or the trends of the day turn your needle. Persistence is a force of nature. If you stay on your path long enough, even the hardest obstacles will eventually have to yield to your presence. The way is not a part-time job. It is a lifetime commitment. It requires you to show up every day, especially when you feel like quitting most. To never stray from the way is to become a mountain. You become a landmark of integrity in a world that is constantly shifting and changing. Principle 7. Live with honor and be ready to face death. Musashi knew that only those who accept their mortality can truly live fully. The cherry blossom is the symbol of the samurai because it is beautiful and falls at the height of its life. It represents glorious impermanence. Honor is not what others think of you. It is what you think of yourself when you are alone in the dark. It is your internal law. Memento mori. Remember that you will die. This ancient wisdom is not meant to cause fear, but to burn away the trivial and the unimportant. When you are no longer afraid of the end, you gain a terrifying freedom. You can take risks and live with a boldness that others can't. Integrity is the armor of the lone wanderer. It protects his soul from the decay of lies and the weakness of cowardice in every situation. Live every day as if it were your last, for one day you will be right. Make sure that on that day, you have no regrets. Honor is a choice made in every moment. It is the refusal to betray yourself for comfort, for safety, or for the approval of the crowd. By facing death, you become a master of life. You see the world in high definition, appreciating every breath and every challenge as a gift. This is the ultimate victory of the lone wanderer. To meet his end with a clear conscience and a spirit that has never been conquered. The lifestyle of the lone wanderer is not for everyone. It is a narrow gate that only the most dedicated can pass through to find truth. You don't need to live in a cave to be a lone wanderer. You only need to build a sanctuary within your own heart and mind. The world will try to pull you back into the crowd. It will try to make you normal, average, and safe. You must resist this pressure. Solitude is where you find your weapons. It is where you forge your will and where you discover who you truly are without the influence of others. Become your own best friend and your most demanding teacher. If you can master yourself in solitude, you can master anything in the world. Take the principles of Musashi and make them your own. Use them to cut through the illusions and the lies of modern life to find reality. Your life is your masterpiece. Do not let others hold the brush. Be the lone wanderer who chooses his own colors and his own path. Go your own way, and the world will eventually have to move aside for you. The power of a focused soul is truly and completely unstoppable. The path is open before you. The choice is yours. Are you ready to begin your journey as a lone wanderer? The time is now.